We have breaking news. Welcome to our WKYC viewing audience. It is official. LeBron James is heading to the Philadelphia 76ers, leaving two former teams, the Heat and the Cavs, at the altar, as well as a Golden State team that, if you listen to certain voices in the NBA, were very much in the thick of things to get LeBron James services. This is LeBron's fourth NBA team. He, of course, has won an NBA championship with his previous three teams. Jason Lloyd, Adam the Bull, joining us to continue our reaction to this. I'm going to call it shocking news.
Yeah.
Not that he's made a decision, finally, but that it's Philadelphia and not Miami, not Cleveland, and not Golden State. What's your reaction, Jason?
That would have been fourth on my list if I had to pick where was he going to wind up. Those three, Cleveland, Golden State, Miami, to me were all above Philly. When you walk through the starting lineup of what they have now, it makes perfect sense. He's a great fit. I just wasn't sure he would add a fourth team to his legacy. I don't know how he felt about that. There's personal reasons for him to go back to Cleveland or Miami. Golden State made sense. Philly's a shocker. It's a shocker. Mm-hmm. And, we were just talking about a few moments ago. Congratulations to Cleveland native Mike Gansey, Olmsted Falls grad, who just got the GM job in Philly and has now delivered Jaylen Brown and LeBron James in the same offseason.
This is
stunning.
It's as big a splash as a new general manager.
Yeah. And he got LeBron on a 2-year, $8 million deal.
Which is, if you'd have told me that, and that was going to be the price, stunning.
He got LeBron James and Jaylen Brown and gave up no good players to get them.
It's
nothing.
astonishing.
No player that they wanted on the team. This is stunning, but I think we clearly, and as a Cavs fan, you're heartbroken right now.
Sure.
It is a crushing blow because, say what you want, we were relying on him coming back, and now it feels like we're just going to be one of these teams that's, we're going to get to the playoffs, you probably win a series.
They've got some work to do.
They're a good team, but they can't compete. But here's the thing. We underestimated, because none of us thought he was going to go to Philly, that even approaching 42 years old, LeBron James just told us today that winning matters most. And that's what he did. It's not money, because they didn't pay him a lot.
No, and there was a time, Jason, where you were saying he's in L.A. and he feels like that ship has sailed.
It felt to me like that era was over, where he was just enjoying playing out his career in L.A. But again, guys change, opinions change, feelings change. Yeah. And maybe he's reached a point where he's like, I've got enough left in me for one more. I can do one more.
Jason, sorry to cut you off. You know him better than anybody else does here, right? Do you think there's a part of him that feels disrespected? Because it felt like the Lakers were saying, you know what? We're done with you. We're pushing you out the door. You're not the player you once were. And I'm sure he knows he's not the player he once was, but he's still darn good. And this is clear. He wants to go win a championship and be a big part of it. And if you're objective about it, if you look at the four teams we were talking about, the Cavs, the Warriors, the Sixers, and the Heat, minus him, the Sixers had the best roster on paper.
They did.
And now they're a legit championship contender more than any of those other teams would have been.
Yeah, and you're right. I wrote this for The Athletic. Yeah. He was treated like a squatter in L.A.
Yeah.
Where he was tolerated and not beloved. They never were going to embrace him the way that they did Kobe. He was never going to catch the ghost of Kobe. And that's why I kind of thought he would come back here.
Right.
This is the only place. Philly's not going to love him like Cleveland would.
Yeah.
This is the only place where he was beloved. And that's why you saw him tearing up and getting emotional at the tribute video when the Lakers were back here in town. But clearly he thinks Philly is in a better position to win right now than the Cavs.
And unlike the Lakers, they will love him in Philly if he wins.
Of course.
Because the Sixers, I know the Eagles have won and the Phillies have won and somewhere
else. It's a rough sports
Sixers haven't won anything.
No, but I mean, if he doesn't win,
right, they'll be on him.
Brutal on him.
They'll be on him.
Let's focus our reaction on two things.
Yeah.
And I don't care the order necessarily, but not just LeBron's legacy and what this means for LeBron, but also the Cavs guys had all of their eggs in the LeBron basket, and that basket just disintegrated. Where do they go from here, and where are they currently in the pecking order of the East, a conference that just 8 months ago we thought was theirs?
Yeah, I mean, they're down on the list, certainly. The Knicks are above them now. Philly's above them now. Boston's probably above them now.
Maybe Toronto.
Toronto made a splash move. The Pacers are going to be healthy. It's a competitive East, and they are not. I know they just went to the conference finals, and I've tried to give them credit for that all summer long. But the league changes fast on you. Where do they go from here? Well, James Harden's going to sign now. Now you can sign Harden, and he'll get them under the second apron. He'll get them out of the apron, but he's going to get his money. You can look at Jonathan Kuminga as an option, but there's not there. The field is fairly dry in a lot of moves. Like free agency's over, and a lot of the trades for the most part are done. It's not to say you can't. They traded for Donovan Mitchell in September, I think it was. Yeah. So you can still make moves, but it's rare at this stage to go out and make a big swing like this. Kuminga might be the best move available to them right now.
Bull, when you look at the East, and I think you've got it right, I think, to me, I think Philadelphia isn't probably just the favorite in the East, but they've got to be maybe a co-favorite to win the entire NBA based strictly on the strength of their starting five. It is incredible when you look at what they have in their starting five. Yeah. For you, Bull, it's so late in the free agent season. This is a byproduct of LeBron taking his time and being last. Where do the Cavs go now? What do they do?
Jay just mentioned it. I mean, unless it's a name kind of out of nowhere that hasn't been discussed, all the big names have moved already. We talked about Jaylen Brown. He's been traded. We talked about Giannis. He's been traded. We talked about LeBron. He's on Philly. Anthony Davis doesn't appear to be someone that's going to get traded, but I don't even know if I'd want him anyway. Right. Kyrie Irving, same thing. So there's no other player out there, and again, unless it's a name we're not expecting to be traded at all, that comes out of left field that's going to make any significant difference. I mean, is there a better player than Jonathan Kuminga available? I don't know. And Jonathan Kuminga is, you know better than me, but he's just a guy. Yeah. He's not making a significant difference for them.
They're wing deficient. They're guard heavy. The roster is lopsided right now. It's unbalanced. It's a tall task in front of them to get this evened out prior to the start of the season. I don't know how it's possible.
Philly and the Knicks are clearly better. The Celtics, say what you want, they still have Jason Tatum, who's better than anybody on the Cavs. And the Heat just got Giannis. We know how good Toronto can be.
1 second, guys. Mikey says that LeBron has tweeted. What did he say?
LeBron has tweeted. It's a 4-tweet thread based on his decision. I'm going to read you the full thing in totality. LeBron tweeted, quote, "I thought I was done when the season ended. I wasn't ready to announce it, and I knew I needed some time to really decide. But I was pretty sure I played my last game. I was honest at that last press conference when I said I needed to look at myself and decide if I still love the game. And guess what? I still truly love this game, and I have more to give. The last few weeks have been really special. I've never been able to have no clue what to do and take real time to just think. I've had an incredible few months with all the people I love trying to figure it all out. This is my last decision. I'm not going for money. I'm not going for family. What am I really playing for at this point? I still want to sacrifice. I still want to work. I still want to grind. I still want to compete, to win, and have a chance at the feeling of winning another championship. I believe I can help make the Philadelphia 76ers a championship team, and I am so excited to energize a new fan base and start this incredible journey one last time. Thank you, LA. Miami, I'll forever love, and Northeast Ohio, you'll always be my home. King out."
Reaction?
I think he's being honest. And like I said earlier, guys change their mind. Yeah. He just told you, he changed his mind.
He was pretty much at the end of the road.
I'm surprised.
That surprises you.
Yeah, it surprises me too.
I think the thing I take most from that statement is that he is essentially saying he was of the mindset that was it.
And it felt that way these last couple of years in LA. It felt, we've talked about it on the show before. I've said that before. We talked about it earlier in the segment.
He lost some of the love.
It felt like he was just he was happy to be in LA. He was happy to be in Hollywood.
Play with his son.
Play with his son. Yeah. His family, Savannah loves LA. His family was happy out there doing commercials, doing all of that stuff. Yeah. And he was going to play out the string. Something happened inside of him that relit the fire. I don't know what it was. Maybe one day he'll reveal what it was.
It's interesting that it's a 2-year contract because this is putting the cart way ahead of the horse. But if Philly is as dominant as we think, and they win one, to take the words out of his mouth when he went to Miami, not one, but if he were to get to 2.
Well, we haven't seen the terms.
It
could be a non-guaranteed deal.
But if he does play 2, it's interesting to me because that gets him to 6, which just a year ago felt like that would never happen.
Right. Well, I want to see the terms of the deal. There's cap machinations for making it a 2 year.
Right, where the second year is not legit.
You can make it a non-guaranteed I would proceed as if he's going year to year, but he did sign for 2.
Yeah, which is interesting. But I do think I tend to agree with you, Jason. Having seen enough of these kinds of decisions, when players are on the fence, and he wasn't on the fence, he said he was over the fence and into retirement.
Yeah.
Rarely do those guys get back on the fence and back on the field for 2 years.
Yeah.
They might come back for one more, but rarely do they come back for multiple seasons. It'll be interesting to see what happens and how it takes shape. I think from a legacy, and trying to take it out of the Northeast Ohio for a second.
Yeah.
I had asked the question on UCSS before we came to Channel 3 about, is 4 teams too much? We saw you brought up Shaq at the end of his career. He was changing teams like you change underwear. And I thought it was a terrible look for him. And he wasn't particularly good in any of those stops.
Right.
To me, on one hand, it's not if you win at each stop, it's unprecedented.
Yeah.
If you're the reason that 4 different teams won an NBA championship, Michael Jordan could never say that. He led one team to an NBA championship.
But he's already there because no one's ever done it with 3. Nobody has ever led
as the guy.
As the guy.
Yeah.
And we talked earlier, was he ring chasing all that? In Miami, we know the story of how he went to Miami. They didn't win that first year.
No, they did not.
When Dwayne was in the lead, and you can blame LeBron for losing to Dallas. That is on him.
Yeah.
That's his fault. But since then, the 2 that they won in Miami, he was out in front. He's the one that guided them to championships. When he came back here, he came back to a team that hadn't even made the playoffs. Now, yes, they added Kevin Love. They had Kyrie, but that was a team that wasn't even a playoff team. He won a championship with them in year 2. He went to an LA team that was a mess when he got out there, and they won a championship in year 2. Yeah. Maybe that is why it's a 2-year deal, because in Miami, they won a title in the second year. In Cleveland, they won a title in the second year.
It does take time.
In LA, they won the title in the second year. Maybe he is around for 2 more years, believing that they could win a title in year 2. But I'm surprised that Philly's the choice. I wish him nothing but the best. I know people in Cleveland are going to be
there's
upset.
There's going to be a lot of angry people. How could you be angry? He chose where he thought he could win.
He owes Cleveland nothing.
Nothing. Yeah. Absolutely
nothing.
not.
He delivered the championship in 16.
He did. And
by the way,
he did not drop any breadcrums that he was coming home.
No,
I mean, it was all the speculation that Cleveland made sense
right.
and on and on.
And I had a conversation with him in the locker room when the Lakers were in town, and we were joking about the winter weather. They were here in January, and he said, "I love coming back to visit."
Yes.
And he made clear.
To
visit.
Philly's
he
weather's
even
not
had
a whole
Cleveland
lot
on
better
his cities.
Philly's better.
He had Cleveland on his cities that he least likes to come to.
The whole Memphis thing, he was talking about that because of all the family. I mean, when he comes to Cleveland, I've seen it with my own eyes. There's literally 65 people waiting to see him, friends, family, whatever, down underneath. It's just hard for him to. It's a different stop than everything.
Let me ask this, because I'm sure it's trickling in, and we haven't really paid attention to it. But one of the other stories now is the reaction from across the league, from teams, from players. Mike, you always monitor social media very closely. I don't know if you've had a chance yet to look at that and see what some of the reaction to LeBron's decision has been. Are you hearing anything in the way of players, coaches, management? What are you seeing out there?
I haven't seen a ton of players or coaches, especially coaches don't really weigh in on social media, but overall it is shock. It is the general consensus of the social media reaction right now. We talked about the Kalshi odds earlier, how Golden State took the big lead yesterday.
Philly was fourth in the Kalshi odds.
Philly was fourth.
That's why,
not just this morning, but for the majority of this run, they've been fourth.
Yeah.
They were always the dark horse that we said, hey, if he wants basketball fit, it's probably his best actual basketball fit. But I don't think any of us really thought it was a legitimate contender for LeBron James' services. I always had them fourth. In some order, it was Cleveland, Golden State, Miami, and then Philadelphia. And if LeBron, and I believe that tweet thread that we read earlier, is him being honest. I have no reason to take anything he said as why would he lie? It's his own Twitter. He tweeted it out himself. He said, I want to win a championship one last time, and that is the best place, I think.
And he's not wrong.
Giving him a chance to win a championship. I don't disagree with him in that regard.
And by the way, guys, I know fans are going to be angry. I get it. I don't agree with it, but I get it. An excuse that some fans are going to make for getting angry is if he had done this a couple of weeks ago, maybe the Cavs had done something else. But I don't buy that.
Yeah, what else were they
They weren't going to trade for Jaylen Brown.
No, what
they
else
weren't going to trade for Giannis.
No,
this is it.
Their eggs were in one basket, and the handle on that basket broke today.
Yeah.
And I know that as time goes on, we'll learn more about how he made the decision, when he made the decision. But guys, I don't think it was an accident at all that he happened to use the phrase, trust the process. That phrase is forever a part of Philadelphia lore when they were tanking, and the general manager was telling the team, telling fans, you got to trust the process. And then LeBron comes out just a couple of days ago and says, trust the process. And the Twitter sphere and the NBA universe went nuts. Oh my God, it's Philly. And then he quickly backtracked and said, no, it meant nothing. It's just, it's just, I don't think that was an accident. I really don't.
As a Cavs fan right now, do you get excited for the season?
It's hard.
I don't know
hard.
how you do, Bull.
Yeah.
That's a good question, and I don't know
But
how that happens.
I don't fault the Cavs.
No, they didn't do anything wrong. But
you have to take the chance. You have to play the game.
Yeah.
They sat at the table, and they weren't dealt the right cards.
No.
But
Yeah,
you had
and
to play the game.
Well, we were talking in the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show earlier today about, you got to take a swing.
Yeah.
And, we're encouraging the Guardians to take a swing and make some big moves. The Cavs were all in on this, and it was just about a week and a half ago at Summer League where Kenny Atkinson was asked, and he's like,
"Yeah,
I think we're gonna get the GOAT."
Yeah, he made it seem like
he said, "I feel like we're getting."
I don't know. Did he say it?
I thought he said,
He just acknowledged that they were in.
We
the
were
race
trying
for him,
to.
that they were in the game.
I think we kind of read into what he said.
Maybe we did.
The way he said it, I
thought,
left listening saying
it's done.
Not it's done, but they feel pretty good about their chances.
Yeah. And
once again, to Jason's point, I don't blame him.
No, I don't blame him either.
This
from
was
a
the
basketball
biggest free agent on the
standpoint.
market. They put all their eggs in that basket, and we had multiple conversations on this very program over the last 3 weeks saying they don't have a plan B. They are all in on LeBron. If it doesn't work, it's going to be catastrophic. And the plan B is probably Jonathan Kuminga in a sign and trade. That's where they're at now.